what's up, everybody? Gonna do a classic rock reaction, man. This is the Kinks. We're gonna be reacting to the music of the Kinks, and there's an album entitled, get this, The Kinks Are the Village Green Preservation Society. Yeah, that's the actual title of the album, man. It's a long-ass title. So, specifically what we're gonna do here is we're going to take a look at the Village Green, that's the album name for short, their 10 best songs, according to this person. And Cat Dub, I believe that's how, I believe it's a gent. I believe that's how he pronounces his name. Thanks very much for the recommendation, I appreciate it, man. And this person, I believe it to be a gent, says, "It looks to me like you haven't reacted to the Kinks much. What about doing 10 songs from their much admired album, The Kinks Are the Village Green Preservation Society?" The album failed to chart upon its initial release, and Ray Davies has called it the most successful ever flop. In 2020, the album was ranked number 384 on the Rolling Stones magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Note that the tracks all display the same album cover picture. The 4 band members with some sort of orange swirl ghosted over the picture. Ugly but distinct. Okay, man, sounds good. So yeah, it's been a while since I've done a Kinks reaction. There was their British Invasion series feature, and then there was a Kinks quad, and then I believe that they were mixed in with another quad. So in total, I'm counting 3, perhaps 4 Kinks reactions. So definitely need to do a little bit more. And the last Kinks reaction had to have been more than probably, I'm guessing, 6 months ago. So it's due, it's time. So man, this is what we'll do. Treat this like an album. So we'll split it in 2 parts, part 1, part 2. And then part 3 is going to be the review. Okay, so 3 parts. Sometimes we'll get away with just one video, but if we break it up, it has a much better chance of at least a part making it up onto YouTube. So that's why I do it the way I do. All right, man. So with that said, let's hit up part 1. I'll put flashes of the songs on the screen as well. All right. Pardon my long-ass intro. With that said, let's hit it up, the Kinks. Let's get it. This is the Village Green Preservation Society.
God save Donald Duck, Vaudeville and variety. We are the Desperate Dan Appreciation Society. God save strawberry jam and all the different varieties. Preserving the old ways from being abused. Protecting the new ways for me and for you. What more can we do? We are the Draft Beer Preservation Society. God save Mrs. Moss and good old Mother Riley. We are the Custard Pie Appreciation Consortium. God save the George Cross and all those who were wanting them.
Cross of King George. Very distinguished.
We are the Sherlock Holmes English-speaking vernacular. God save Fu Manchu, Moriarty and Dracula. We are the office block, persecution affinity. God save the little shots, China clubs and virginity. We are the skyscraper, condemnation affiliates. God save Tudor houses, antique tables and billions. Preserving the old ways from being abused. Protecting the new ways for me and for you. What more can we do? We are the Village Green Preservation Society. God save Donald Duck, Vaudeville and variety. We are the Appreciation Society. God save strawberry jam and all the different varieties. We are the Village Green Preservation Society. God save Donald Duck for the Village variety. We are the Village Green Preservation Society. God save Donald Duck for the Village variety. God save the Village Green.
Of times of old, preserving some of the good old days, good old times. Yeah, memories and shit.
Walter, remember when the world was young and all the girls knew Walter's name? Walter, isn't it a shame the way our little world has changed? Do you remember Walter playing cricket in the thunder and the rain? Do you remember Walter smoking cigarettes behind your garden gate? Yes, Walter was my mate, but Walter, my old friend, where are you now? Walter's name, Walter, isn't it a shame the way our little world has changed? Do you remember, Walter, how we said we'd fight the world so we'd be free? We'd save up all our money and we'd buy a boat and sail away to sea. But it was not to be. I knew you then, but do I know you now? Walter, you were just an echo of a world I knew so long ago. Walter, if you saw me now, you wouldn't even know my name. I bet you're fat and married and you're always home in bed by 8:30. And if I talked about the old times, you'd get bored and you'd have nothing more to say. Yes, people often change, but memories of people can remain.
We probably all of us probably had a friend like Walter, I'm sure.
Picture yourself when you're getting old. Sat by the fireside, pondering on. Picture book,
reflective association to him. But I think that's the main theme of the album. I heard him say Scooby-Doo-Doo. Good song. Charming.
Johnny Thunder lives on water, feeds on light. Johnny Thunder don't need no one, don't want money. And all the people of the town, they can't get through to Johnny. They will never ever break him down. Johnny Thunder speaks for no one, goes on to fight. And sweet Helena Doolin prays for Johnny. Though everybody tried their best, oh, Johnny vowed that he would never ever end up like the rest. Johnny Thunder rides the highway, move like lightning. But sweet Helena just says, God bless Johnny.
Johnny is wild. Can't be contained. Won't conform.
Sky, look down on all the people looking up at the big sky. Everybody's pushing one another around. Big sky feels sad when you see the children scream and cry. But the big sky too big to let it get him down. Big sky too big to cry. Big sky too high to see. Like you and me. One day we'll be free. We were there, just you see. Till that day can be, don't let it get you down. sky looks down on all the people who think they got problems. They get depressed and they hold their heads in their hands and they cry. People lift up their hands and they look up to the big sky. But the big sky is too big to sympathize. The big sky's too occupied. But he would like to try. And he feels that inside.
Big size too occupied.
Big sky's too big to cry.
We make plans, God plans.
We'll be free. We were there just to wait to see. Till then, they can be. Don't let it get you down.
Good song. Interesting perspective. Okay, y'all. That is part one of a really, really interesting album so far, man. The Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. I like the sound. I like the musicianship. I like the lyrical delivery and the logic behind it. Got a little flavor of a concept flavor there with the common themes, but I know it's not a concept album per se. But hey, yeah, really, really good musicianship, man. Ray Davies is an excellent, excellent songwriter. He tells an excellent story and song. Yeah, man. When I was doing the British Invasion series and I kind of learned about the Kinks and their early plight, meaning they had lots of bad managers who were just in it for themselves, and they kind of just left them alone to their own devices. Much worse than that, they were in America all by themselves, 16, 17 years old, all by themselves, didn't really have a lot going on, nothing booked, you know what I mean? And so out of that really, really bad experience, they still rose and they still maintain. It's arguable, because some say they could have been much bigger had that not happened. Some say no, probably not. I feel that they could have been a little bit bigger because they weren't in position to take advantage of that momentum that was rolling in the British invasion. What was it? 62 to 64, 62 to 65, or whatever it is. In that period of time, they were there, but then they had to go back home. So, even, from England and everything, that was a great platform all the same. They still had international notoriety, but yeah, man, those precious 2 to 3 years between the 62 to 65 would have been, it would have catapulted them even higher. They might have been rubbing shoulders with the Stones and the Beatles. What do you think of that? All the same, though, they've really, they've got a great legacy all the same. And despite that, their talent cannot be denied. They weren't one of that flash in the pan kind of fad groups in the British invasion that just came and faded away because they couldn't maintain the sound because they had no talent. These guys definitely had the talent, great songwriters, and it's the talented ones, the ones that could write their own material that stuck around longer in the British invasion. You think of all of those British invasion bands, it's only the ones that stuck around longer beyond that became iconic. So many of them fell off, after that rush. But the Kinks remained. Why? Because they're the true shit. They had the talent, man, and they could write their own material. So yeah, man, really, really interesting perspectives in these songs. It's got a reflective kind of appeal to it, and I dig it, man. It's really, really good. So let's call this Point Break for the benefit of me and my editing and uploading. And this is the end of part one. Got to do a little bit of running around, then we'll come back, hit up part two and the review. See you in a bit. Peace. Let's get it.
This world is big and wild and half insane. Take me where real animals are playing. Just a dirty old shack with a hound dog's bark that we called our home. I wanna be back there among the cats and dogs and the pigs and the goats on Animal Farm, my animal home. On Animal Farm, my animal home. While I lay my head upon my pillow, little girl could play beneath my window. Though she's far from home, she is free from harm, and she need not fear. She is by my side, and the sky is wide. So let the sun shine bright on Animal Farm, my animal home. On Animal Farm, my animal home. Girl, it's a hard, hard world if it gets you down. Dreams often fade and die in a bad, bad world. I'll take you where real animals are playing, and people are real people, not just playing. It's a quiet, quiet life by a dirty old shack that we call our home. I wanna be back there among the cats and dogs and the pigs and the goats on Animal Farm, my animal home. On Animal Farm, my animal home. On Animal Farm, Animal
It's reminiscing. It makes me think of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Kind of like the same theme. Wishing it was back on the farm.
Out in the country, far from all the sort of noise of the city, there's a village green. It's been a long time since I last set eyes on the church with the steeple down by the village green. 'Twas there I met a girl called Daisy and kissed her by the old oak tree. Although I loved my Daisy, I saw fame, and so I left the village green. I miss the village green and all the simple people. I miss the village green, the church, the clock, the steeple. I miss the morning dew, fresh air and Sunday school. And now all the houses are rare antiquities. American tourists flock to see the village green. They snap their photographs and say, "God darn it, isn't it a pretty scene?" And Daisy's married Tom, the grocer boy, and now he owns a grocery. I miss the village green and all the simple people. I miss the village green, the church, the clock, the steeple. I miss the morning dew, fresh air and Sunday school. And I will return there, and I'll see Daisy, and we'll sip tea, laugh, and talk about the village green.
if Tom the grocer has anything to say about it. You whoop your ass, you come close to his woman.
Baby, you don't know what you're saying because you're a victim of bright city lights, and your mind is not right. You think the world's at your feet cause you're starstruck, baby. You're taken in by the light. You think you never look back. You know you're starstruck on me. Baby, you're running around like you're crazy. You go to a party and dance through the night, and you'll drink till you're tired, and then you're out on your feet, cause you're taken in by the light. You think you never look back. You know you're starstruck on me.
They harmonize well, don't they? They have a feel good party feel to them. Good times.
Baby, watch out or else you'll be ruined. Cause once you're addicted to wine and champagne, it's gonna drive you insane. Because the world's not certain, and you're taking it by the light. You think you never look back. Starstruck. Don't you know that you are? And you always will be. Ooh, yeah.
Good tune. First he was seeking the fame, now she's seeking the fame and the lights.
In a dark and misty house, where no Christian man has been, wicked Annabella mixes a brew that no one's ever seen. Relatives have passed her by, too scared to even say hello. She's in perpetual midnight. She shuts out the day and goes about her simple ways. I've seen her hair, I've seen her face, but towards mine, I felt her eyes, a burn in my soul, twisting my
interesting song. I think that was Dave. That was singing.
People take pictures of the summer just in case someone thought they had missed it, and to prove that it really existed. Fathers take pictures of the mothers, and the sisters take pictures of brothers, just to show that they love one another. You can't picture love that you took from me when we were young and the world was free. Pictures of things as they used to be. Don't show me no more, please. People take pictures of each other just to prove that they really existed. Just to prove that they really existed. People take pictures of each other, and a moment can last them forever. All the time when they matter to someone. People take pictures of the summer just in case someone thought they had missed it, just to prove that it really existed. People take pictures of each other, of a moment that lasts them forever, and the time when they matter to someone. Picture of me when I was just 3, sat with mama by the old oak tree. How I love things as they used to be. Don't show me no more, please. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Okay, y'all. So that is the Kinks. The Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society album. That was a good album, man. Very, very charming, light, witty, good delivery. It's relatable and it's reflective. It's got a whole bunch of different things in it that just basically makes me coin it as charming. It's a charming album. Okay, there's no big booming hits on it like You Really Got Me or Lola, but you know what? An album, to be a great album, it doesn't require necessarily the presence of a commercial hit. You know, if you are a Kinks fan, definitely you don't give a damn about if there's the presence of a commercial hit on it. What you care about more is that all of the songs, most of the songs on the album are really good, and that's what you've got in this album for sure, man. Really good album. Yeah, okay, so yeah, before I go on, I was just going to go into the review. So let's call this point break here, the end of part 2, and come right back and we'll hit up the review, part 3. See you in a second. Okay, y'all, let's check out some background information about this album, man. This excellent album by the Kinks, and see what we can learn about it, how it was conceived, where it all started, whose idea it was, all of that sort of background information, stuff that makes you appreciate the music even more once you know it. So, the Kinks. The Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society album. It's the 6th studio album by English rock group The Kinks, released in November of '68. It was the last album by the original quartet, Ray Davies, Dave Davies, Pete Quaife, Mick Avery. As bassist, Quaife left the group in early '69. A collection of vignettes of English life, Village Green was assembled from songs written and recorded over the previous 2 years. The album failed to chart upon its initial release, and Ray Davies has called it the most successful ever flop. In 2020, the album was ranked number 384 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time, and it was described by Uncut in 2014 as a brilliantly observed concept album. Yeah, I got those vibes earlier in the beginning, especially around side 1. In 2018, the album earned a gold disc for reaching sales of 100,000 copies. It was voted number 141 in Colin Larkin's all-time top 1,000 albums, the third edition in 2000. The beginning. The song Village Green itself was recorded in sessions for the Kinks' 1967 LP Something Else. But Davies withheld the song and began collecting ideas for a thematic album revolving around the Village Green concept. Okay, so it was more a concept album. Alright. The band's interest in such a project began to grow in mid-67. In a June interview, Dave Davies mentioned that a Ray Davies solo LP was scheduled for release in September, which, according to Doug Hinman, probably refers to Ray's plans for a collection of songs with a London theme, a la Waterloo Sunset, an idea that seems to appear and disappear quickly, or his Village Green concept, the one that seems to take hold. The Kinks spent the remainder of the year completing Something Else, then went on a short break before beginning work on the Village Green album. Ray Davies did not compose the songs to fit a predetermined theme of the album, but a certain commonality develops in his lyric interest of the time. Stephen Thomas Erlewine described Village Green as a concept album lamenting the passing of old-fashioned English traditions. Yeah, that was really cool. He's spieling off all of these things, mentioning Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. The intentional Englishness of the lyrics' imagery may have partly been due to the Kinks' exclusion from the United States. Yeah, you see? I mentioned that. But it might not be the same context or the same motive. I was just focusing on them not having as big of a foothold as they should have had during the stage of the British invasion. But between the time that they went to the States and then they had to go back home, how long was it before they went back to the States? So maybe this is what he's talking about, that time period where they were back home and they didn't have that connection. Of course, you can establish a big international following being at home and have an international following abroad, which I think is a big part of what they did. But still, not being in the States during some very, very crucial, fundamental stage building times will hurt you. The British invasion time period, and also that great Renaissance period, in the latter 60s and to the mid 70s. That was very, very important as well. But the Village Green was also a metaphor, a Walt Disney fantasy of an ideal protected. How to read the sentence? There's no structure in it. But the Village Green was also a metaphor, a Walt Disney fantasy of an ideal protected place of retreat that, as Davies has since opined, may rather have belonged on a solo album or a personal diary. It's all in my head. Damn, man. Okay, this is a quote here. Quote, "It's all in my head, probably. Everybody's got their own Village Green. Somewhere you go to when the world gets too much." Unquote. Okay. There's an unquote, but not a quote. All right. Hey, it's Wikipedia, man. You let some shit slide. Lyrics and themes. As well as to nature, the lyrics make many references to Davies' own city childhood. The real Village Green is a combination of North London places, the little green near my childhood home in Fortis Green. That little green is where we played football and where we stayed till it was dark. There was mystery there, the records about lost childhood, but also being a kid, unquote. Okay, again, no damn initial quote. Similarly, quote, Do you remember Walter is based upon a real-life childhood friend. Sitting by the riverside recalls how Davies went fishing a lot when I was about 8 years old, unquote. The eventual title track, one of the last written and recorded in August of '68, is full of references to children's entertainment of his youth. Comic strips, cinema, radio, theater, Sherlock Holmes, and two lyrics, Phenomenal Cat and Wicked Annabella, resemble children's fantasy literature. Released the same day as the Beatles' White Album, The Kinks Are the Village Green Preservation Society was greeted with almost unanimously positive reviews from rock critics but failed to sell strongly, an estimated 100,000 copies worldwide. Despite this slow start, the album has since become the Kinks' best-selling original record. The album did not have a popular single. Although it was commercially unsuccessful upon its US release in January of '69, Village Green was embraced by the new underground rock press, particularly in the US, where the Kinks' status as a cult band began to grow. The album did not reach gold in sales in the UK until 2018. Nevertheless, it was critically well regarded at the time of its release, at least in America. In the Village, let's scroll past this dude, shall we? I got no interest in what you gotta say, man. In Boston's underground paper Fusion, a review stated the Kinks continue, despite the odds, the bad press, and their demonstrated lot, to come across. Their persistence is dignified, their virtues are stoic. The Kinks are forever only for now in modern dress, unquote. Paul Williams in Rolling Stone wrote a review that heaped praise on Village Green, saying, quote, I've played Village Green twice since it arrived here this afternoon, and already the songs are slipping into my mind. Each new hearing is a combined joy of renewal and discovery. Such a joy to make new friends, and each and every song Ray Davies has written is a different friend to me, unquote. Wow. That's a really, really good pat on the back from Rolling Stone. They don't give anybody a good pat on the back. Unless you're Bruce Springsteen, you're not getting a really good pat on the back from Rolling Stone. Alright. However, the LP went virtually unnoticed in their home country, receiving only a single review and disc. The nameless reviewer commented that Davies has managed to bypass everything psychedelic and electronic. The Kinks may not be on the crest of the pop wave at these days, but Ray Davies will remain one of our finest composers for many years, unquote. There's a lot here. These critics got a lot to say. Yeah, let's bounce around. The record soon developed a cult following and remains popular today. Kinks fans and British musician Pete Townshend of The Who later said that, quote, for me, Village Green Preservation Society was Ray's masterwork. It's his Sgt. Pepper. It's what makes him the definitive pop poet lariat, unquote. Davies' timing was the album's nostalgic concept, proved to be just out of step in the cultural turmoil of '68, but it soon gained a much greater mainstream appeal. In 2003, the album was ranked number 255 on Rolling Stones magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time, 258 in the 2012 revised list, and 384 in the 2020 revised list. According to Acclaimed Music, it's the 185th most celebrated album in popular music history. Okay, let's move away from critical reception. Yeah, let's check out sequels and follow-ups. From its inception, Davies considered the album for stage presentation, and its general theme served to inspire the Kinks' more ambitious but less popular two-part theatrical work Preservation in 1972-74. In his autobiography, X-Ray, Davies would refer to the three albums as his Preservation trilogy, confirming that Preservation is directly related to Village Green Preservation Society. On the 19th of June 2011, Ray Davies performed the album live in its entirety for the first time. The concert was at the Royal Festival Hall in London and was part of the Meltdown Festival. He was accompanied by the London Philharmonic Orchestra and the Crouch End Festival Chorus. That would have been really cool to catch that, have him perform the whole thing. That would have been really cool, man. Alright, y'all, so that's the information here on this excellent album. I could have read a hell of a lot more because critics were lining up. And all of it is good, it seems. But yeah, we don't want to be here all morning. Good album, man. And so this is just 10 songs out of, I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe 14 songs on the album. And this is, according to ANCAP Dub, the 10 best from the album. So there you go, y'all. If you feel that definitely the others are worth a listen, submit a quad, man, and then we'll knock off the rest. So that concludes our look at the Kinks. Definitely, I would love to do a little bit more about them. Of all of the British acts, especially the British invasion acts, I know probably the least amount about the Kinks. And I'm talking about, the big acts. I consider the Kinks a part of the big acts of the British invasion, even though they had that slight. But yeah, I still consider them a big part of it. And of all of the bands, though, from that British invasion series, I know the least amount about them. So I'd like to definitely wade into a little bit more of their music for sure. I really like their music. I like Ray's writing, his storytelling, and I like their harmonies and their singing and presentation. It's really, really good, man. They had all of the tools to be even bigger than what they were. So, with that said, I'm just checking my notes here. Coming up on this platform, so Caden, Pete, Randy, Antoine got reactions coming up for you folks, and the Led Zeppelin factor. I know that Antoine's got a little bit of Led Zeppelin, and it's going to be a little while down the road before I do any more full bootlegs or concerts like that. My time is really, really in a crunch these days, so I've been kind of holding off on doing long biographies, long documentaries, and things of that nature. Just keeping it basically down to an album reaction or less for now. And then once my time is a little bit more free and that sort of thing, then I'll be able to do a little bit more. Had a whole shit ton of patrons join. Don't know why, I don't know. It's a bug in the air, whatever it is. And so I had to kind of put a cap on that. I've actually had to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not accepting any more patrons right now. So that's where I'm at right now with my time being limited. And so once I get a little bit more free time, I'll get back into a little bit more of documentaries and things of the like that, because I really dig those. But yeah, I'm gonna have to just hold off for a while. So that was my reaction to this great album, man. Really, really good assembly of songs from the album. And I look forward to getting to know the Kinks a little bit more. So you got some more Kinks? Send it my way, man. Anyways, ANCAP Dub. I think that's how you pronounce it. Thanks very much, man. Let me know if you're a lady or a gent. I can't even recall that. But I think you're a gent, man. But thanks for the recommendation. I appreciate it very much. And definitely want to do a little bit more down the road. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.